I'm Jennifer, and today I'm here with my fellow associates, Nick and Praneeth. Over the past month, we've been working with Dr. Sam Racz and Dr. Joshua Chang on continuing on developing on products of AI model to predict post-stroke spasticity. We work with our team mentors, Patrick Boswell, Darshini Shah, Corey Bound, and Tom Patzel, particularly in ensuring easy clinical implementation of our AI model. Outside of participating on these discussions, the associate team analyzed clinical literature to find economic impact of post-stroke spasticity, particularly in finding new possible ways for FDA regulatory approval and clarify any competitive landscape of our solution through market research. As student associates, we are very grateful to be given this unique opportunity to be able to communicate with health commercializing experts, as well as being able to apply our knowledge to real projects that will make an impact with our help of you. Now I'll hand it over to Dr. Racz.
Good. Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam, and I'm very excited to be here, and thank you very much for having me. So post-stroke spasticity, or PSS for short, is a very common sequelae of stroke, and it has broad implications. However, it is also very difficult to manage from a clinical standpoint. And the reason for that is there are certain uncertainties. For example, it is not always sure if spasticity will develop after stroke, when it will develop, how severe it's going to be, and in light of that, what is the optimal long-term treatment plan? So if we knew all the answers to those questions, we could improve patient outcomes, we could reduce hospitalization costs and time, and we could also address some of the socioeconomic disparities observed in PSS management. Thankfully, predictive AI models trained on big medical history data can be very effective in addressing those uncertainties, and therefore can be a good and very valuable aid to clinicians. And our goal in this project is to develop such a solution. So our core research team tries to bring the best of both worlds to the table by having a good clinical understanding of spasticity while also having the expertise in data science and machine learning. However, we also work closely with expert clinicians organically involved in spasticity management, even from the acute stroke phase to rehabilitation up until administrative oversight. So the biggest caveat we see with this opportunity is that even though there are plenty of working medical AI solutions out there, only about 3% of them actually make it to the market as viable products. And so to counter that, first of all, we want to make sure that data accessibility is not going to be a problem, so our model only operates in data that's going to be readily available in any generic clinical setting. Our model will fully exploit the longitudinal nature of medical history data, and also our market strategy will proceed in a way that we target the broadest possible set of users. And on the output side, we want to provide a risk score for spasticity. We want to forecast its severity and potential consequences, and also recommend a treatment plan that has the highest chance of long-term success for the patient. So we received invaluable feedback from our reviewers and mentors that helped us greatly to ensure that during our model development and evaluation, we're going to follow a state-of-the-art approach from the literature. Clinical integration is also a key consideration. So we are planning first to smooth integrate with Epic systems for the broadest US market, and then with Athena Health for deployment to Dell Medical School, associated hospitals. And also, thanks for the student associates, we have a fair understanding of the competitive market and the regulatory challenges we might face. So first, we're going to develop and evaluate the model in silico using the Optum Clarity dataset and additional medical records data. And after that, we plan to proceed to a clinical pilot trial involving Dell Medical School. So then we can have explicit clinical impact and economic impact data so we can properly evaluate the product and then proceed with commercial development. So thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to take questions.
Hi, can you talk a little bit about how your technology is going to be differentiated from other ones that are doing similar ideas?
You mean the competing teams, or
No.
you mean the market?
In general, there's a lot of folks out there working in this space, and I'd like to hear a little bit about how you are going to do something different from the others.
So from a technical standpoint, you mean? So there's a very recent systematic review addressing over 80 studies analyzing medical health records and trying to come up with some medical AI solution. And so the conclusion of that study is that like almost all of these have some sort of methodological limitation. And one of the biggest things, I can name like two things. One is that pretty much like a small minority of these projects apply machine learning techniques that can explicitly address the longitudinal nature of the data. So like temporal dependency between like medical records. And the other one is that in most cases, like they train the model on data that is not available necessarily in the real life. And so they, whenever like, okay, the numbers and performance measures look good, but then when we try to deploy that to a hospital, it's like, oh, okay, I wish we had that data, but like we're gonna have like pay for that, or like you have to like reach out to this like previous hospital that treated the patient, so like you know, snatch their data. So that's something that we definitely keep in mind when developing this model. So it will use only data that will be available in the real life. So it actually works when we deploy.
Who do you envision being the customer? Who's going to pay for it?
Excuse me?
Who's going to pay for it?
Well, I wouldn't say like, I wouldn't have like a specific answer to that right now, because like this model can create a situation where like everyone who participates is actually a winner, but like we see this as like a clinical decision tool which uses medical data, so I would say the hospital. And also it makes sense because like according to like current data, spasticity, if develops after the stroke, it involves like an additional cost of like $18,000 per patient per year, and $16,000 of that is due to hospitalization and increased stay in the hospital. So I think they have the most to benefit. Thank you very much.